I get asked all the time whether people should buy new products, what shade should I go for, all those kind of things, which, to be honest with you, I feel that people don't need to buy a lot of products. You could actually take what's inside your makeup bag and just reuse it. So from the workshop, we got some great feedback, and I just wanted to do a little bit of a recap of it this month. So you're going to be watching me on two things. You're going to be watching me on YouTube, which is brand new for me to be doing a live stream into YouTube. But if you've got a question, you're going to put it in the comment box while we're live. And when we're not live, you won't have that comment box. So that video is going to stay in YouTube. And what you need to do is basically answer all your questions now, I suppose. But what I need to tell you is there's actually a few minutes delay. I tested this today and I actually found out it was almost 3 minutes. So it's really difficult. If you've got a question in YouTube, bear with me to reply. And what I really love you to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I've decided that that is how I'm now going to use my videos, and it would be good if you could get little notifications about when I do things. And for the rest of you already in Zoom, what you know is there's a chat room. Pop your questions in there, put your hand up while we're live. It's very quick, and what we need to do is just interact with each other. But if you don't want to interact, if you don't feel like you want to say anything, or if you just want to sit back and turn your video off, which I know some of you are, so I can't see you, then that's absolutely fine with me. Now, what I want to share with you is something that Vicky pointed out last time when I spoke to her, was she would love to know what people got from the last sessions with regards to how people felt with regards to what they learned from it. Here's a couple of those feedbacks. So let me just got a couple more people entering the room. So from the feedback point of view, one of them was the fact that using wet and dry products, which came from Karen, saying how she could then use them as an eyeshadow. Jane mentioned on the fact about her foundations in particular, and the fact that she could put any product anywhere. So if it says eyeshadow, you don't have to just put the eyeshadow product on your eyelids. You could put that eyeshadow on somewhere else. You're absolutely fine with that. The next thing was Jenny. She thought she'd never thought about mixing and blending different products before, and that she was going to give it a try, and she was never going to throw anything away again. And for me, as Jenny says, it's all about fun, which is the main thing that I like people to do. A few more there. Alex was the fact that remembering after she'd come and had the workshop with me to separate out in your makeup bag. Don't put all your products in lipsticks and eyeshadows, mix them in wet and dry. So then you know, you can just think, okay, I just want something sort of nice and smooth on my skin, so I'm going to use a wet product. If it's too shiny, you could use a dry powder product. Vic said that it was super, and she loved the fact that she made a lip gloss with her blusher by mixing my number 2, or what was it? Yeah, my number 2 treatment oil with it, and she loves the smell of it. And Flo said that she loved learning the whole idea about texture, and how obviously I focus on mixing all your wet products together and then mixing all your dry products together separately. But then when we take it to the next level, we mix our wet and our dry products together. Now, you're here for 2 reasons. You're either a beauty insider. As a beauty insider, you will have purchased products off me in the past, and therefore it's a great way of me keeping in contact with you. What I tend to find is that people buy products and want to know a little bit more, or I might do a special offer. So you'll have a Facebook group and you'll have email notifications off me. The next level of people that I work with is normally because you've booked in the last year, you've had a 3-hour, which is all I do now, is my 3-hour personal makeup lessons. And when you buy one of those, let me just turn someone's mute. If you buy one of those, then you automatically become a Beauty Mindset member. And with that, you get £25 voucher, you get discount off all my products and my master classes as well. So let me just take this opportunity to share with you and thank you for purchasing my products. But one thing that I'm trying to share with people is the fact that I do physically make my own treatment oils. A lot of people have said to me they didn't realise that that is what I did. So I did have a photo shoot here a couple of months ago, and you'll start to see some more photos of that. And if you look on the top left-hand side, you'll see some images of some labels there, because I'm actually redesigning the labels. It's working more with my beauty mindset theme, which my treatment oils I will promote for obviously skincare products, but I'm also promoting them for your mindset, which is the feel good factor. So they will lead more into the benefits of the treatment oils that are in there. So for example, neroli is really fantastic for stress, not only on your skin, but also for your mind as well. You've got patchouli, which is in number 4. That's a really good grounding product. It's a really good balancer. So it's a great product for the skin to balance the skin down, but it's also fantastic if you're just feeling out of control and you're just feeling like you just need to bring yourself into the present moment. So I will speak more about those in other sessions, but the fact that I do the trial kits and then they will all get renewed into the new packaging. My treatment cloths, which most of you have got, don't forget that you can buy a 6-pack of them and you save £10. I do my mixing compacts. Now my mixing compacts used to be used where you put your makeup into them, and I don't sell makeup anymore, but a lot of you have got these mixing compacts, and I've still got some in stock as well. So what I do now is use these to mix and blend products, which means you can create your own products in them. And of course my brushes, 7 brushes there that vary in price from £5 to £10. They're all vegan quality, or they're all vegan with high quality, and they've all got red handles, because my idea was there's nothing worse than not being able to find a makeup brush in your bag. You can get them as a kit where you save £22 where you buy all of them as well. The pro bags. Now, if you've got a pro bag, just to touch on this, these are the bags that obviously when I send treatment oils out, I pop the treatment oils inside, or your brushes. Don't throw these away. I've got some fantastic pictures where people have used them for putting needle and cotton in them. So a little mini sort of bag to put some needles and threads in. I've had people use them to put money inside. I used mine for when COVID was around and I put my face mask in there. You might want to just use them as bag separators. So put them in your bag and you can separate your change or your cosmetics when they're in the bag to stop your bag getting dirty. So do use these bags, because that was the whole idea of them. And the brow tool as well. I'll touch on that when I do the brow workshops, but they're great for just taking away those few little hairs that you might have around the hairline, with all those little hairs that we unfortunately tend to get as we get older. Anyway, let's recap now. Where the reason why you're all here is to get my recap about my summer makeup masterclass. Now, what we're going to be focused on here is the little bits of things that you need to do differently for the summer period. And in particular, we get different types of weather. So what we need to do here is when we go on holiday, there's nothing worse than taking your existing makeup bag and putting your makeup on as you normally would in the evening, and find that you're really hot and sweaty, or you find that when you put your foundation on, it looks completely the wrong colour. Or when you go to put your lipstick on, it's too bright for your tan, or you've now got a tan and your lipstick doesn't show up. So my thoughts are, is how could you take what's already inside your makeup bag and make it more summer friendly? Well, your number one priority with the sun is going to be how can you protect your skin? Now, everything that I'll do here is to try and increase the sun's SPF. But if you were actually to talk to a dermatologist, there's a lot of people who are allergic to suntan products. The chemicals that are inside them and the clagginess and the stickiness can cause anything from skin irritation through to blocking your pores, through to there's an element of it actually wrecking your photos, because they can make your face look quite white on photos, especially in the evening. But a lot of people don't understand how the skin works to start off with. And the fact that when I used to work for the Lancaster Group, I learned a lot about suntan products and how they worked. And our skin has got an ingredient in there which is called melanin. And there's a few common areas where you get melanin, which is in brown eyes. So think of a very deep brown cow's eyes. That's full of brown melanin. And then we've got melanin in our skin, which gives us the tan, or different tones, different colors. So if I was just to show you over here, the different colors of people's skins, that's how much melanin you've naturally got inside your skin. And then the other one, surprisingly, that a lot of people don't know about is mushrooms. The brown frill of a mushroom is actually made of melanin. And all of these elements are when Coco Chanel brought out the idea of a tan. She decided it was really trendy to have a tan. But actually, before that, to have a tan was referring to the fact that you were a peasant, not a pheasant, a peasant, and you worked out in the fields. And going back to the Queen Victoria days, it was not fashionable to have a tan. So we can blame lovely Coco Chanel on the fact that the feel of having a tan and the look of having a tan refers to luxury, the fact that you can afford holidays. And let's face it, who doesn't look good without a tan? We definitely know it makes us look slimmer, doesn't it? But the problem with all of these things, the problem with our own skin producing a tan to protect itself takes 14 days. And what happens is most people go away on holiday for about 14 days. And just as you're starting to come back away from your holidays, when your skin's going, okay, I've got up to full strength now of melanin and I can now protect myself in the sun. But obviously what we've done is we've exposed ourselves, and by then we possibly might have burnt ourselves. When we burn the skin or cause any irritation on the skin has a secondary response, which is called thickening of the horny layer. It's totally technical, this. It sounds really, really bizarre. But the thickening of the horny layer is where the skin will naturally thicken itself like it would on the soles of your feet or on your hands where you've got like any rubbing area. And it tries to desperately thicken itself to protect itself from being burnt in the sun. And the problem with this is that it does this every 14 days, like the melanin, and then starts and stops. And what it does, as we all know, it shreds itself. Skin shreds itself. So guess what? We've now got our skin that's a little bit red, and then on top of that, the skin's starting to shred itself. And guess what? That little bit of tan that we've got is now starting to disappear. So one of the reasons why it's really important to wear a suntan product is it actually makes your tan last longer, and it will make your tan far better than what it ever will do. But you need to bear in mind that you could be possibly sensitive to suntan cream. So go out there and do try certain ones. They do make a difference as to which ones you use. If you go for something with a factor 25, factor 30 is actually where most people are starting with now. The factor 2s or the ambre solaire oils or the coconut oils of this world have finally wheedled our way out of going on holiday. The thought of actually using those things now is seen as not being a good thing. But start at least with a factor 30. If it was me, I'd probably do start off myself with a factor 50 if I could get my hands on it. And you need to know what your pinking time is. So you need to know and be aware that when you're in the sun, when your skin starts to show a little bit of pink, that's your skin telling you, not that you're hot or that you basically might be a little bit sensitive. It's actually screaming at you, telling you that you're a little bit sensitive. If you get to this stage, you've gone too far. Basically, this probably doesn't start to produce until about 2 or 3 days after, or we all know that when we're sitting for our evening meal, you tend to find that that's when your tan starts to come out. We have a very, very slow reaction to tan. It's not immediate. So do be mindful and get out of the sun or protect yourself. Look for specially formulated products for your lips and your eyes, because a lot of suntan creams have lots of oil in them or a lot of possibly slightly thicker texture. And when you put those around your eyes, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I certainly have, it can make your eyes sting. So you do tend to, or even if you're on your lips, it makes you get a horrible taste. So do look for specific products that at the very least are for your face. And also look for products which are really good to use around the eye area. They tend to be much finer in consistency, a much more expensive type of cream. But if you do use those around your eye area, you'll probably use it a lot more than just putting your regular body SPF all over your face. Now, what you need to work out is the price, because I can tell you, working for the Lancaster Group, we had suntan creams which were around the £30 mark, which I could not afford now. And you've got suntan creams from Aldi, which do get very good press, which are like £1.50. Do not put the price element into it, because now we have cosmetic regulation. You cannot sell, people say to me, which is the best one? You cannot sell a suntan cream unless it's been cosmetically tested to do the job it does. So I would say, think more about the texture you like. Do you like the feel of a cream or an oil? So is your skin oily or is your skin dry? Do you like the shine of an oil? Because don't forget, an oil is always going to be shiny. If you're going on a boating holiday or sitting in the sand, do you really want sticky, tacky textures on your body, or would a lightweight lotion be a better choice for you? And I personally think the biggest thing for me is the container that it comes in. I always go for suntan creams that are in a spray, because you can spray it down your legs or on your arms or over a bigger area and rub it in, or you can spray it into your hand. It's much easier to use. And do look for brands now that actually have added colour into them, which gives you a little bit more confidence when you go to strip yourself down to your Speedos or your bikini. Look for ones that actually have sun insect repellent in them. They're really good too, because, you know, maybe you're going to Scotland or something and you get the mosquitoes. Nothing worse. I get it all the time. There's nothing worse than getting a lovely tan and you're full of mosquito bites. It's really the most uncomfortable thing. And you can also get ones with self-tanning. Now, just to add into this, what you could do is make your own suntan cream. So just get the bowl working, rolling here. You've got your white suntan cream. So what you could do is mix your insect repellent into your suntan cream. You could mix your self-tan into your suntan cream, or you could mix some tinted moisturizer into your suntan cream. So I'm not just talking just about the face here, but for the whole of your body. It would be a nice thing to do. If perhaps this is another way of using up your products, you could do this as well. Now, bear in mind your expiry dates. If you take a suntan cream and you keep it like most people do for several years, then every year that the suntan cream you have, what you need to do. Flo's just beat me to it. I've just looked at the chat. How long can you keep suntan cream for, and can you use it the following year? How spooky is that I've just looked at that? So 24 months could be what your suntan cream is. So you need to look for this little logo on your product. It doesn't always say 24. It might say 6, 1, 36. That's when you open that product, how many months it has been tested to work for. Now, the thing about suntan creams for me, you've gone on holiday with them, you've put your suntan cream through all the trauma of lying by the side of you while you're sitting on the beach, you've cooked and you've baked it. I personally think that product has deteriorated. So for me, I always say the year that you buy it, so if it's a factor 30, then it's going to be a factor 30 the first year you open it. But I would realistically say the following year, halve it. And you're doing that for your own protection. Treat that product, and you could push it for 3 years. So if it was a factor 30, then it'd be a factor 15. And then in the third year, it's a factor 7.5. Not quite 7.5, but don't trust that product the older it is, because it's not a given thing that the suntan protection, they split and they deteriorate like a lot of food products and what have you, or makeup products, and they don't become the same thing. Don't forget your back of your neck. Don't forget your bald patches on the top or thinning hair. Don't forget your ears. Don't forget the tops of your feet, and don't forget your hands. It's very common that people forget to do the back of their hands because they put the suntan cream on there with their hands, and then they don't do the back of the hands. And the back of the hands shows your age more than anything else, because you can't nip and tuck the back of your hand. You can't put the sort of nice tight skin on there if you opted for surgery. But this is the most common place that people get age marks. So do remember that. If you were a true dermatologist, you wouldn't probably even be talking about suntan creams. most dermatologists, especially people who've got allergies, they always talk about wearing a big sun hat, wearing your glasses. And even if you take, going on safari, some really hot places here, they don't strip off in a bikini. What they do is they cover up and use the materials that keep you cool. So all your natural fibers, your cottons and that are going to keep you nice and cool too. So how do we adapt our existing products? So this is just from a few months. I decided to keep the products that people were bringing to me when they had makeup bag revamps, just to sort of see what was going on. And I wish I'd have done it for the last 30 years, because I probably would have been able to fill this room that I'm in now. It's horrifying to think that, the person knows whose these belong. This is one client's eyeshadows that she left behind for me. If you take, I don't know if I can see one here actually, but if we were to try and see a little expiry date on one of these things, it's a bit out of focus, but there will be. And I bet you would be a little open container. It probably says 12 months. It'll be one of these here. It'll say 12 months, maybe 36 months. But if you have an eyeshadow of collection this big, you might have a nice broad collection of colours, but what you have is probably the best part of uses. From a usage wise, you've probably got those eyeshadows. You're probably going to get through one of those eyeshadows a year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, I don't know, 20 eyeshadows there. In theory, you may have the best part of 15 years worth of eyeshadow using it every day. But as soon as you open that container, it's got a 12-month ticking time bomb on it. So wouldn't it be so good if we could take maybe 3 of those colours and we could mix and blend them to create a better colour or a colour spectrum? So when you buy eyeshadows, try not to do what's happening here. I don't know if you can see my cursor there, but try not to buy similar colours. Try and buy a very dark brown and a very light brown. And then you've got a spectrum of colours that you could mix the 2 colours together and create 20 different colours of brown. Buy a black eyeshadow and a white eyeshadow. You'll be amazed adding a little black or a little bit of white eyeshadow into your current colours. You'd be amazed how different it is. Mixing and blending different products and maximize your current makeup, and more importantly, I'm not sure if I added it on there, means that you don't go past the expiry dates of products. Cross your lipsticks with your highlighters, foundations to create a new color, new summer glow. So here we have a little bit of foundation. And what we've done, the foundation was the base colour. And what I've done now is I took a little bit of lipstick and I've added a little bit of lipstick. You're gonna try this on the back of your hand and you're going to test the colour first. Okay, you're gonna go back to being a teenager and being in your bedroom and basically have a play with the products that are there. So in this, I've put foundation on the back of my hand. I think I then put a little bit of shimmer, a bit of a kind of a highlighter cream product, gave me a little bit of pearly glow there. So that's this effect here. So that's a little bit of foundation and a pearly glow. And then what I've done here is I've mixed a bit of red lipstick in. So I've got a foundation, I've got a little bit of highlighter, and I've got a lipstick in there. And as you can see over here, the colour then starts to build up. And what I'm going to use is a brush or my finger. I'm going to mix that together. Now think about that product there. Where could you use that colour? You could use that as a new lipstick shade. You could use it as a nice product to put on your legs or your arms to give yourself a nice pearly shimmer. Or you could even put it obviously as a lipstick and you've created a whole new lipstick colour there. When you mix certain products, bear in mind what features and benefit that product has. So this lipstick here, for example, I've actually just put a little bit of treatment oil on my hand there and put the lipstick over it, and you can see it's thinned it down straight away. But what you could do here is realize the fact that this particular lipstick had an SPF 12 in it. So what we're doing here is we're not just mixing ourselves a new lipstick, what we're actually doing is giving ourselves a really nice SPS product that we could use in the sun. If you want to rejuvenate everything in your makeup bag, and which I highly recommend you do, you can have the most amazing collection of colours that will cost you a minimum amount of money. This is me with one of my mixing palettes, which is what I tend to use. You could use a saucer, or you could use a piece of plastic, or you could obviously use a compact to mix some products in. Here I have a little bit of concealer with a little bit of lipstick mixing in there. And I've also added a little bit of powder in there as well. Over here, I've taken some foundation, draw it across for you to see. Here I've got some foundation, and what I've done is I've mixed together a foundation, and I've added some white powder. That could be eyeshadow, because I'm thinking, okay, I want it to go a bit lighter, and I've mixed into it like a little bit of bronzer in there. So I've mixed those elements into it. I've got a couple of little questions over on YouTube, which I'm just having a look at. If you were to take a foundation and want to make it thicker, which dovetails a little bit into one of the questions, what you would obviously do is you wouldn't add more liquid. Think of it like your custard. Think of it like your gravy in your kitchen, and you want to make that product a little bit thicker. You wouldn't be adding more water or more fluid. What you would do is you'd be adding more powder to it. So if you want your product to be lighter and thicker, you'd add a powder light color. If you want that product to be lighter but thinner, then you need to add something to make it a bit thinner as well. So you'd probably have to add here a little bit of treatment oil. So there's me pumping a little bit of my treatment oil to it, which will make it a bit thinner. If you've ever come to one of my workshops before, if you've ever been with me, you'll understand that I talk about the things inside your makeup bag that are very similar to like the things or how you would cook. If you were to make any product for a texture, maybe be icing or anything in your, maybe if you're doing some artwork or anything, it's all about mixing colours as well as textures. Now, when it comes to deciding what product that you need to do, you need to just think about what your needs are. So people say to me, what's the best product to use? And obviously, if you're looking for a foundation for yourself, or if you've got your own makeup bag and you want My Eyes in it, then basically you'd bring it to me and we could work it through together. So I can only work in a very general manner when I'm obviously working delivering a workshop online. The first things you need to think about, you should by now know, if you don't, there's a video you can watch. You should know whether you've got dry, normal or oily skin. You should know those elements. You need to also take in consideration the texture, which could be anything from having fine hairs on your skin through to flaky skin. You could have raised blemishes, scars, or you might be allergies to certain products, which goes from everything from reactions to brands that you've brought in the past, right through to maybe you've got a gluten allergy and you need to make sure you don't have products that have got gluten in. Some people have nut allergies, and therefore if it's got nut oils in them, then you need to be mindful of that as well. Therefore, you then can work out, when you know those basics, what your preferences might be, which might be, I want to look flawless, which means you don't want to look like you've got any makeup on. Or it could be that you want to look like you've got loads of makeup on. There's other things that you need to think about as well. So when we're testing products, when I've got clients here in my studio and we're looking at textures, I'll say, smell it. Do you like the smell of it? Do you want something to be long lasting? Are you an open water swimmer and you want to go in the water and basically look beautiful as you're swimming around? Do you want to look luminous? So do you want to look sparkly? Personally, I don't, but I know a lot of people who love that glamour and that sparkle, which tells people that you're wearing makeup. But the one thing that I need to say to you is just be careful when you're adding SPF. So if you're going to mix your suntan, so you're going to take your makeup and you're going to add your suntan cream into your foundation, or you're going to add your suntan cream into your lipstick to give it some kind of protection, or you're going to add your lip balm sun protection to your lipstick that gives you a tinted lip balm with SPF in it. Most suntan products have got things like zinc and titanium dioxide in them, which tend to make things very sticky and tacky. And if that's the case, once you've blended up, what I would do is highly recommend you add my treatment oil #1. Reason being, treatment oil #1 needs to be used, which you can get in a small travel size from me, is that you need to make sure it's got nothing or it's got no known allergens in there. We don't particularly be wanting to put too much fragrance on the skin when we go in the sun. Your skin type does look completely different. And like I mentioned before, when you zoom into your skin, and if you really want to do this, you could take a selfie of yourself, dare I say, and zoom in and actually look at what skin texture you've got. If you've got oily skin, then you'd be opting possibly for lighter products. And if you've got dry skin, you'd probably be opting for thicker products. So your skin type might dictate where you go with what you try with this. And just a warning, if you do use products that are long lasting, so for example, what have we got? Estee Lauder, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but we've got a product, an Estee Lauder product, which basically is called, I can't think what it's called, Double Wear. Some makeup artists use it to actually cover and camouflage people's skin. But if it says long lasting on the formula, I'd be really careful, or waterproof, I'd be really careful about using those products when you're in the sun, because they will be quite heavy and they tend to work by having a little bit of alcohol in them where they go onto the skin and they dehydrate. So just have a look at your packaging of the products that you might want to use when you're in the sun, that you go for a lighter option. Is my thoughts. I'd go for light textures for oily skin. I'd go for dry textures, cream textures for dry skin, and I'd just be careful on the waterproof type of products. Now, I think summer is a great time for you to absolutely dig out all of your bright color eyeshadows. It's a time where you can be exaggerant, and can't say words. It's a really good time for you to play with your makeup and do daring things. So, you know, on this lady here, we've got a nice pearlized eyeshadow that you might have had sitting in your makeup bag for a while, never used. And we've popped a little bit of an orangey golden colour there that basically you could do. Now, in the winter, this would look a little bit wrong. It would look a bit weird with your winter jumper and your thick coat. But in the summer, really go for that festive or fun-loving time of year and try products and be daring, because it's a really good time. You'll be probably more confident as well because you might have a little bit of a tan. So do use those sparkly products in the summertime, and don't forget to take them down onto your arms and your décolletage area, which is obviously your neck area. Take them down onto your legs. Think about your feet. A great way to use pearly eyeshadows. And I tell you what, if you're sitting in the pub and you've got your legs crossed and somebody looks and sees that you've got like a really nice sparkle on your legs, it shows that you're really confident. So do use those products, those satiny glow products, but just be careful with the sparkle element. If you're concerned about your skin looking a little bit older, you've got to do it right. You've got to do it with confidence. Don't do it in a little tiny way. Do it in a bold way. Go quite strong with it. Now, when you come to tan up your body, I personally love a self tan. I don't do it as often as I should, But 9 times out of 10, what a lot of people do is they'll do a self-tan, they'll go for the full whack tan, or they'll sit in the sun. I'd like to think this is my body, me and my sister, but it's not. What you could do is expose your body to the sun, for example. But what we're doing is we don't know age, do we? So what we do is we think, okay, but I'm going to put a higher SPF on my face. And then what we get is a fairer complexion on your face to what you have with your body. Just bear that in mind, because in all the years that I've done work with brides and weddings, I can't tell you how many brides go for self-tans or go away on holiday and get strap lines. Be mindful that this tan that you're giving yourself is something that's going to stay with you probably all summer. Your sun tan takes a long time to fade away. But when it comes time to do your makeup, what you want to do is think, are you going to match your tan color? Or are you going to match your neck colour? Because when you zoom in it here, you've got the battle of all of those colours going on. And what you've got to do is you've got to connect that golden tan that you've created on your body. And you've now got to link your face to make it look really, really natural. So just be mindful and be aware that when you put your makeup on, have a look at your arms when you're wearing t-shirt, put your hand up against your face, look how tanned your hand is, and make sure if you're going to go for a bronze sun-kissed look, make sure you go as dark as what your body is. Otherwise, it's not going to look as good. And buffing and blending is the absolute key. So I've got 2 brushes that I absolutely love to use, and I get great feedback off people. This is a buffing brush. And as you look at skin here, so that's what I'm saying about zooming in, skin is lumpy bumpy, it's not flat, it's not flawless, it's not the Instagram skin that we think it is. If you're trying to get your foundation to look sun-kissed, you've got to buff it in, and you've really got to buff it in so it doesn't look like a layer of foundation on your skin. You want to make it look completely flawless. And another, that's the brush there. So you're looking for a brush. So I retail these for 10, but this is a brush that basically is very, very dense. When you press down on it, it doesn't bend. Okay, it literally pushes the product flat onto the skin, which is how you get that completely flawless look. Blending and buffing is the absolute key here. So if you've had a go, we'll run through this in a bit, but say if you've had a go and you've mixed some of your makeup products and you've put them on and you've thought, oh my God, my face looks really shiny to the texture of my arm, or you might say my skin looks really matte compared or shiny, but you've got a difference. It's obvious that you've obviously given yourself a sun-kissed look, and it's obvious you've used makeup. The key is here to not make it look like you've used makeup, unless you go for the festival look, which is obviously your bright colours and what have you. So what you want to do is blot away that product, and I'm going to just finish off here with this, and I'm going to run into a practical session. So do keep watching. We've got 15 minutes left, and I'm going to put a sun-kissed look on me, and you can see how I do it. But this is just a bit of a recap of, take a screenshot of this or watch it back or what have you, and I can put it in the notes as well. But these are ultimately what you would have in your probably sun-kissed makeup bag look. You'd have a suntan cream, which was ideally a suntan product, which is suitable and is being tested to not sting or irritate around the eye area, because you want to make sure that suntan cream goes all around the eye area. You need some kind of coverage. So you need a concealer, you need a foundation or a tinted moisturizer. Take the one you currently use. Don't go and buy a darker one. Take the one you already have. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a brown powder. So the third line down there, the brown powder could be a brown eyeshadow, a brown bronzer, or a brown blusher. Doesn't matter what it is, it just needs to be something that's darker than your own foundation. A waterproof mascara is obviously the preference, which is the most thing that most people take when they're on holiday. And for me, just some kind of pink textured product, which could be a lipstick or a lip gloss or a cream blusher or a cream eyeshadow, but ideally it needs to be a pink tone, a bright pink as you possibly can. We're going to buff it out, don't forget, but you need to get a bright cream product. Brown is your powdered product and pink is your cream product. Something to mix in. Obviously, I'm going to suggest an EstherMarie Makeup Mixing Compact. If you've got a saucer or anything like that, you can use. You need a buffing brush, 100%. Otherwise, it's never going to look smooth. And I'm going to show you how I use a retractable handbag brush. It's an EstherMarie one, and I'm going to show you how this brush is one brush that will do your eyeshadow and your blusher. A makeup remover cloth, obviously, to wipe away any excess. And I would always suggest in the summer months, go for treatment oil number 1 to mix it into your makeup because it won't have anything in there. So we are now going to have a go. I'm going to flick through a couple of the slides towards the end. This is me. I tried to find some pictures, but this is me with my sun-kissed look. It's not overly made up. It's fresh. It's covered up my pigmentation marks. It's covered up and blurred my skin. The picture itself is quite blurred. I should really upload a better one. But the aim here is that my face matches my neck, that matches my arms. And then obviously it was out in Mallorca, but we went to a ball, which is why I've got the tights on, believe it or not. But the key thing here is to make it look like you're not wearing makeup, but to make yourself look really radiant. With the techniques that we're going to do, don't forget to apply it onto your body areas too and have some great fun. And you can use this knowledge obviously all through the year, because what you need to do is remember that SPFs are needed all throughout the year. Now, before I run into the practical sessions, what I wanted to do is just give you some ways in which I can help you. So there's 3 ways that I can help you. People say, do I still do things? I don't do weddings. I don't go to people's houses. But what I do is these sessions, which I run, which hopefully passes on some knowledge and gives some information. I do a free quiz that you can answer some questions to, and I can give you some feedback in a video format. All the thing that I do that most of you have had, which most people tend to repeat, is obviously a one-to-one session with me. Now, and then there's my my lessons and courses as well, which I do ad hoc. So I do various different ones that people can, you can purchase, or you get them all free if you remember. Brows, makeup bag revamps, all sorts of different things that I do. So we'll run into a Q&A session, but what I'm going to do is stop sharing. Share. How do I stop sharing? Share. I don't want to share anymore. How do I get rid of that? Go away, share. I'm hoping you're going to see me. Here we go. Stop share. Just the button hid below my screen. So now you can see me. Now what I've done is I've been very disorganized, as I normally am. And I don't mind that, to be honest with you. When I did work on QVC and what have you, I got used to sort of like, the 5 minute and the 4 minute and the 3 minute rule. It's amazing what you can do in 30 seconds. But we have 12 minutes left for me to give you a demonstration. And I've literally, look at my box, I've literally just thrown some products in here, very random products. I didn't want to be too specific. I didn't want to sort of say, these are the things you need to go and get. I just wanted to make it feel like this might be your makeup bag with all the bits and bobs that you've got inside it. Now, I always suggest priming your skin with some treatment oil and then taking my EstherMarie Makeup Remover Cloth, or EstherMarie Remover Cloth, and taking it off. I suppose I could pin my hair up as well, which would be quite good. So if you pin it, I've started doing the Zoe thing. So I'll put some little clips in my hair just to pin my makeup up there. And if you've got any questions or anything like that, then do say. How not to be shiny if hot. Yes, you see, blow. I'm going to show you that. So What we're going to do here, you're going to take your treatment oil or whatever you like to use. I love my treatment oils because I just like the smell of them and I like the feel of them. I have hypersensitive skin, so you'll see me go bright red as soon as I touch my face. If I can use these products, then I know other people can. And just do this, even if you haven't got any makeup on, it's important that you do this because this is going to clean your skin and remove a layer of dead skin cells. So when you put your makeup on, your makeup's going to last. So if you wake up in the morning and your skin is clean and you think, well, I'm going to put makeup on now, still do this. And then you're going to take your makeup remover cloth that you'll have put in some hot water, and then you're going to remove the residue of the oil and your skin's going to be nice and clean. I like to leave, if my skin, feels nice, I like to leave quite a lot of oil on my skin. I like the feel of it. I like my skin being hydrated. And, as you can see, my skin's starting to calm down now and my skin feels clean and refreshed. Now, unfortunately, I've got to a certain age where I have to keep putting my glasses on. So I'll put my glasses on and I'm going to delve into here. So what have we got? We have some suntan cream. So this is one that I picked up probably like last year. I brought this one. It says water resistant on it, mainly because Vince and obviously when we go away on holiday, we tend to go and do things that are around water. So I'm going to take my water resistant product and I'm going to take a little compact, right? And obviously what I want to do now is I want to create a sun-kissed makeup look. Now you can do one of two things. Let me pull this down so you can see. You can see my little compact there. Okay. So you can do one of two things here. You can blob your products in. So I could do this where I take my products and put them into the compact, and I'm just going to mix them. So let me take something else. I'll just bring that up so you can see. I have a stick foundation here. So I'm literally taking 4 or 5. Some people come and see me and they've got like 5 or 6 makeup products in their makeup bag. So let's just have a play. Just put them all in there. Now, do you remember me telling you about your suntan cream is going to make things lighter? So bear in mind that I've now got 2 foundations in there and I've got a little bit of suntan cream. But how do I know how to mix it? How do I know how to create the right colour? So I'm just going to grab myself a little brush here. So I'm going to use, let's find one, take this brush. So we're going to become an artist, okay? We're going to play. We're going to take a little bit of that product, bring it down, a little bit of that product, a little bit of that product, and a little bit of that product. And we're going to mix it together into a little concoction. And we're going to look at it and we're going to go, okay, I like the colour of that. Or if I think that's too dark or too light, if it's too light, I'll add a little bit of the suntan cream in it. And if it's too dark, I'll add a little bit of the dark foundation into it. And I've made my product there that I'm going to go with. I'm then going to either take the brush that I've used and I could put it onto my face, or I could try it on the back of my hand and see if actually I like the texture of it. So for me, I can feel it. It feels really nice. It feels moist and it feels like it's not tacky or sticky. And I'm now going to try it on the back of my hand. Okay. And I'm going to see what it feels like. Let's bring that down, see it down. So I've got a couple of products here. I've put a bit more foundation in there. I'm going to mix it up and I'm going to mix it down. Can you see how that suntan cream will scream at you? Suntan creams are a little bit of a nightmare with regards to the fact they do go quite white. So once I've blended it down to probably the texture that I want to use, look at my 2 hands, and I think that feels and looks about right. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to get my buffing brush once I've mixed up the area that I want to use, and I'm now going to continue to mix it up in the way that I did. Okay, I'm going to probably test it on the back of my hand first, just to make sure that I'm happy with the colour. Still looking a little bit white, so I'm going to drag more of the foundation onto my brush. Okay, that's better. It's not so white now. And I'm just going to start in the middle of my face. Now, don't forget, we're going for a suntan look here. So we want to go like we've got a sun-kissed look. Now, a sun-kissed look is a yellow tone. I have a pink tone complexion because I've got a lot of warmth in my skin. So I'm going to pop that on. I'm going to go all over my eyelid. And this brush does a great job of buffing it in. I'm actually going to get myself a little mirror. Yeah, because I can see myself a bit better then. And I'm going to remember to take it down onto my neck. And the other thing that you need to remember to do is you need to remember to do your ears, because look at my ears now compared to my sun-kissed look. Your ears will probably always be pale because of the way that the sun and the hair is always over the ear area. So I'm going to put my foundation on there, and it's now starting to, I've got a cat coming in. It's now starting, I can feel it starting to set on my skin. Now's buffing time. So we're now going to really start to buff through the foundation. Okay, and now you're going to do like a tapping action. And that's when your foundation is going to start looking more natural. Now, Flo mentioned about how do you stop it from going shiny. Obviously, I'm under a bright light here, and that's going to add extra shine onto me because it's a bright light. But I'm going to show you how you're going to remove that shine effect. Okay, I feel like let's move my lips as well. I feel like I'm quite buffed in now. It feels comfortable. I've got that sun-kissed, tanny kind of like look going on. But what I need to do is add some warmth into it. I need to make my makeup look like I've got like I've got colour there rather than looking like completely, well, some people might like this. Some people might like this sort of like very, very natural look. That's where I'm going to reach. And Flo, don't worry about the shine. I'm going to deal with the shine in a minute. That's where I'm going to reach for my pinky foundation, pinky lipstick. So I could do this on the back of my hand. Okay, pop it on the back of my hand there. So that's my pinky colour. Or I could even go for, here we go, it's a red. It's like a pinky red. So I could even use something like this, look. So again, you could put it in on the back of your hand, or what I've done here is I've already started some. So again, I'll pop a little bit in here so you can see. So I've got my lipstick. So this is your wet cream product, which I requested would be a pinky colour. So this could be, there's a lipstick, there's a lip gloss, that's like a cream blusher, any one of those elements. Now, what I like to do is use the same brush that I've already used because I just find that like blends in so much more easier. So I've took it on there. I'm going to test it on the back of my hand. Once I've got used to doing this, I probably wouldn't test it on the back of my hand so much because I kind of get used to it. And I'm just going to pop a few dots just to add on my eyelids and onto my cheek, just to add a little bit of definition back into my face. Okay, pop it all around. And what we're going to do next is we're going to buff it down, and it's going to take some of the colour away and it's going to take the shine away. I've got my colour here, so I can put that on my lips. Okay. So I've got a little bit of colour left in there. Now, if you were going out for the evening, do my hair, probably make it look nice. Bearing in mind your tan and everything, and you do your hair, you might actually think by the time you've done your mascara, you find a bit of mascara. Pop a bit of mascara on for you. You might actually like this look. You might actually think it looks really good. But that's all I've done. I've got my suntan cream mixed into my foundation. I've now got a factor, what was that? I've added that in, a factor 30. I'm now wearing a factor 30, but I don't look overly made up. I look sun-kissed. I could do this for during the day, or I could do this to going out at night. The next thing we want to do is take away the shine. Take away the shine, last thing you do. And believe it or not, I'm just going to use the same brush, but a cleaner version. So I'm not actually going to put any product on here at all. I'm just going to let the brush take away the excess product and just blend it down and let the brush dictate. The nice thing about this is you're actually removing a little bit of product at the same time. A lot of people are not sure what to do when they've put too much product on. This is a really good way to do it. So you can see my brush starting to remove the product. Okay. Starting to blend in, and it's blending everything together. We just have a look on. Do you need to put anything on the brush? Well, no, just explain on YouTube, they're a bit behind. This is nothing on the brush, blending it in. And now my shine, I definitely can tell you that my shine is coming from my suntan cream. But I'm going to deal with that in a minute. Let me just have a look. What's chatty. No powder. Float, yes, we're going to do powder. So this is me without any powder on. Okay, so all we've used is cream-based products. So if you are dry, this is what you would do. If you were oily or you didn't want the shine, you'd do this extra bit. And this extra bit is the powder bit and the brush bit. So now I'm going to take my powder, which is here, which could be, again, an eyeshadow or anything else that you want to use. Let me show you with an eyeshadow. I definitely have one in here. There we go. Here's a brown eyeshadow. So we've got our pinky cream, which gives it the glow. And now we're going to add our brown powders, which are going to give us a bit more definition. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use this brush. This is my handbag brush that I was telling you about. So we've got 3 settings. We've got this setting, which we can do our eyes, this setting, which we can do our cheeks, and this setting, which we can do all the way over. First thing I'm going to do is my eyes. So I could cherry pick. I could take this one or this one. You tend to find eyeshadows have got like a much denser, much darker, more crumblier texture, and face powders don't tend to have that so much. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. Okay, put it on the end of my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 dots on here, 3 dots on there. My pink has brightened my complexion up, and the brown now is going to give me more definition. I've put my product on. Because it's powder, it'll make the area matter as well. Use your blending brush just to blend through. Okay. So I've got more definition now around my eyes. And then I'm going to take my brush and I can do my cheeks. So again, you can add more of your sun-kissed, so you can smile and put it here. We're not looking for contour. When we do sun-kissed, we're not looking for it to go in here. We're looking for it to have the sun-kissed look. And when you have the sun goes here. Okay. Just over this bit here. It doesn't go below. Just add a bit more on. And because this is powder, every time you add a bit more powder on, it's going to blur out the sheen. If I turn that light off there, it might show you a little bit better. This is what happens on TV. You always look shiny on TV. You have to look like really, really matte. Obviously, you could put like setting powders on and stuff like that. Bring my hair around my face a bit more so it moves the hairline. Smile, get that colour in. And then I do feel like I need to put a bit more mascara on. So I'm going to show you what I've used. So I used my foundation with my suntan cream mixed in. So it was 3 foundations with a bit of suntan cream that I mixed in. Then I came along with my lipsticks, and so that's what I made with the foundation. Yeah. And then I made my lipstick pinky pearly blusher bit. And then finally a powder bit, which was a brown element, which gave me my definition in my eye area. So popping this in here. This is a great brush for doing this. You can really just work it into crease areas. It just gives you the definition straight away. I could smile. I could add a bit more here. And don't worry about it being patchy, because a lot of people panic and think what you're looking for is the same amount of product on this side as on this side. Then you go back to your brush. You could put, and it just blurs it in. It's like magic. You don't, a lot of people think you've got to work really hard on the blending, and you don't have to at all. I'm going to turn this light on. Hope I'm not going to go into complete. Tell you what, I'm going to turn the light a little bit to the side. Bear with me. Just to see if, let me come in. No, it's still on my face, isn't it? Just to see, I'm going to turn it off. You can't really see me now, can you? But no, that's too blurred because it hasn't got enough light in it. But you might be able to see that I'm not so shiny, and because it's the light that's making me really, really shiny. But believe me, but that's why I say about be careful with your suntan creams. Can you see the shine that's come back now? It's off that light. You have to be really careful with your suntan creams because they do give a lot of pearlescence when you take your photos, and this obviously shows that is the main thing. I feel like I need to just pop a little bit. What else can we do? I feel like I just want to add a little bit more onto my lips. My lips feel like they're missing out a bit. Just thinking you're in the Mediterranean, sun shining. Those of you who've been away on holiday, blend that in. This is something that I do quite a lot as well. Take your lipstick, couple of dots onto your fingers, couple of dots onto your cheeks. It's the easiest way to match your lipstick and your blusher all together as one. So hopefully, for those of you who didn't attend the masterclass that I did, hopefully that has given you some ideas. Maybe a bit of mascara. We'll do mascara go on there. You'll watch this back and you can put under the comments anything that you want to ask. But hopefully that's given you an idea how you could take some existing products that you've got, some bright lipsticks that you've perhaps never used or haven't been using, or some eyeshadows that you could perhaps use as eyeshadows, and also to add a little bit of blusher onto the area here. Make sure you use your suntan creams up so you'll get to the end of the year. Go on your holiday in June, July and August, mix the rest of your suntan cream into your foundation for the rest of the year. When you go on holiday next year, buy a new suntan cream, and then basically, mix some nice pearlized eyeshadow into your body lotion, put it onto your arms, and hopefully you'll have fun using some of your makeup products that you've already got, and you can turn them into your sun-kissed look. I think that's all I've got time for. Where is my watch and things? My watch doesn't show me the time. What's showing me the time? 21:09. There you go. An hour has gone. The questions that I've been asked in advance. When you use, Alex was mentioning to me about mixing in your suntan cream with your foundation. One thing that you need to make sure you do is the flashback with your camera. if your suntan cream is like mine, very thick, one thing that you could try doing is putting your suntan cream on first and then put your foundation on over the top. That's one thing that you could do. The second question was regarding waterproof mascara, which was mentioned on the last masterclass we did with it. You need to be careful waterproof mascara because it can really dry out your eyelashes, and you need to buy a waterproof eye makeup remover. But you will be able to take off your waterproof eye makeup if you use my treatment oil and mix it in, and then you put your EstherMarie warm cloth over the top. You'll find your makeup will come off. The only other thing I'm going to add to this was when I was working out in Dubai, which is a very hot country, makeup melts. So I highly recommend you don't take a lot of products away with you on holiday because it does affect them and they can melt a lot. One thing that I would recommend you do is you get some little containers like this, which are really good to do. Put some of your, we were playing before with your couple of lipsticks. What you could do is take a couple of shades of lipsticks with a bit of suntan cream, mix it in. You've then got a really good product to take away with you, which you could use as a cream eyeshadow. You could use it as a cream blusher, and you can use it as a cream lipstick. You might find you don't even need any foundation, but something like that. I mixed that up, and it's I think it was 2 lipsticks, a bit of foundation, and some suntan cream. You can create something that's really, really, really nice. So that's it. Hope you have a nice evening, and I shall hopefully get out of this YouTube. If you watched it on YouTube, do subscribe. I am trying to build my channel, and if you watched it on Zoom,